Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legends Symbiosis, where today we're starting a new game as the Kapaku that we will probably lose. But losing is not the end of the world. Failure is instructive, or at least it can be, and we are going to we're going to learn something, even if all we learn is that maybe this game's not beatable on Endless. I would like to say, I've put out this call a couple of times, but if you are able to win games on Endless with the Endless Legend community patch on, even semi-consistently, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. On previous occasions when I have done this, no one has responded, so it is possible that it's just not possible to win on Endless, that the ELCP makes the AI better enough at the game that the advantages they get from playing on Endless make them unbeatable, and we're gonna test that theory a little bit here. So, the Kapaku. I have not played as the Kapaku very much, and I have not played as them in quite a while. So, let's refresh here. Survivors of the decimation of their own world, the Kapaku have slumbered for centuries as they cross the stars. Emerging onto Auriga's horrifyingly vibrant and green lands, they have a single aim: to recreate their old world of ash and lava. So in some ways, thematically, kind of similar to the Riftborn from Endless Space 2. We have the Born of Ash faction affinity, which means that we do not see food on non-volcanic tiles. We cannot get food from non-volcanic tiles, but we do get food from volcanic tiles that have food on them. This is the reverse of how it works for everybody else. Any faction that doesn't have this affinity doesn't get any food out of volcanic tiles that normally have food on them. So obviously it's going to start us in a volcanic region, and then in order to expand, we're either going to have to get lucky and find more volcanic regions, or we're going to have to employ volcano formers that allow us to transform the land into volcanic terrain, the way we saw Pink doing a whole lot in that last game. Our Dust Eclipse effect is Shaman's Knowledge, which allows us to see where confluxes are on the map, even if we don't normally have vision of them. So like any tile that we've revealed, but we have Fog of War over, we will be able to see the confluxes on it, and confluxes are like 50% more effective for the Kapaku. They're very, very powerful. We have Endless Fascination, which gives us +3 science on any terrain with ruins, making ruins terrain almost but not quite as good as an anomaly. And we get science from successful ruin searches. We've seen this trait, right? We had this trait for most of last game. It's very effective. It's a lot of extra science. It really adds up over the course of the game. We can perfectly predict the Dust Eclipse. We have the ability to deploy volcano formers, and we'll have a look at those once we get in. I often don't look at the faction-specific text until we're actually in the game and we can see them in context of the research wheels, but the Golem Camp is probably the best technology in the entire game. It's phenomenal. We will be getting it as early as possible in Era 2. It lets you put down a little thing, and we saw some of these in Kapaku territory in the last game. It lets you put down a thing anywhere in the region that exploits the tile you put it on and all of the adjacent tiles, and it also increases the population of your city by 1 when you build it, because you are making new golem citizens to serve in the city. Golem camps are really powerful and extremely important. We'll worry about that later. So let's talk about our units a little bit here. The starting unit for the Kapaku is the Stone Sentinel, sort of a heavy infantry, very tough, immune to disease because it's not biological. They start with Infantry Slayer, and that inner fire capacity that you see there gives them bonus stats on volcanic terrain tiles in battle. I believe all of our units have that. Obviously, that makes us pretty good at defense of our home. That said, we should expect the enemy players to have an awful lot of military units, so it might not be enough. The Geomancer is our Era 1 available unit. It's a support unit. It seems to be pretty bad. We saw the inner fire, or we saw the geomancy effect a little bit at the end of the previous game. It's that buff you can cast that gives a different stat boost depending on what tile the geomancer was standing on when they cast it. It's fine. Probably we will not have a lot of geomancers. It's possible that it's correct to have 1 per army. It's definitely not the case that we want more than that, but we might not even bother with that, because I probably don't want to bother researching the tech, honestly. And our final unit, the one we can research in Era 2, the Golem Writer, is actually pretty strong. We saw some of these last game as well. They have circular attack, which is great. They're just a good, powerful cavalry unit. We will definitely want some Golem Riders. So, in order to patch the holes in our army, we have a good heavy infantry type, and we have a good fighting cavalry unit. We don't really need assimilates that badly, but it would be nice to pick up a unit that has a decent ranged attack. So if we have easy access to, like, Hernas or something like that, we could definitely supplement our military with something that knows how to hold a bow. Would be best. I suppose eyeless ones would not be terrible either. Our forces having a significant amount of toughness means that the passive healing from the eyeless ones AoE thing when they attack would allow us to survive for a hell of a lot longer. And we start the game with Alchemist's Furnace and Topography unlocked. These are totally fine. Absolutely fine starting techs. So, with that, we're going to get in here pretty much the same settings as always. Difficulty endless, fingers crossed that we'll be able to get there. My plan here is to give this like probably 2 or 3 tries. And if we aren't even close at the end of those 2 or 3 tries, we'll scale it back to impossible. The Kapaku are, my understanding is, the Kapaku are by far the most powerful faction in the base game. The Endless Legend community patch has weakened them somewhat, and I'm not sure exactly how in line with everybody else they now are. I think they're still considered pretty powerful, but no longer like breakaway obviously the best. So I'm not entirely planning on coasting on the power of the Kapaku to this victory. Like, I turned up the difficulty in part because we've had a string of wins, and I feel like I have a much better understanding of what ELCP demands of us. So, like I said, fingers crossed, maybe we'll be able to pull this out.
Our world was a paradise of ash and fire, until the gods brought their doom upon us.
Oh, this is really quiet.
Even with our golems, our ingenuity, we were no match for their power. Broken and scattered, we would have perished if not for our saviors. They brought us to this world, gave us a new purpose. And new powers to make it ours. And we will make it ours. No matter the sacrifice.
I don't know if it counts as sacrifice if other people are the ones doing all the suffering. Okay, so Volcanic Regions. Let's talk about these a little bit. One thing about Volcanic Regions is that they tend to be very dense with anomalies and strategic resources. So it's a good terrain type to be good at living in. Let's create our save here for people who would like to play along. And have a look at this start. So, like I said, dense with anomalies, very common for this kind of stuff. We do need to talk about Makani Che, our hero. So our hero is a cavalry unit. That's really nice early in the game. A base movement speed of 6 means you get a lot more exploration done, you hit more ruins, level up more quickly. Our hero has, by default, Army Boost 2, which is a pretty decent army capacity, and no governing capacities. So, I am definitely inclined to use this hero as a military commander. The cavalry class tree, which very few heroes have access to, there really aren't a lot of mounted heroes, and most of the mounted heroes that do exist have ranged weapons, and so are considered ranged units, not cavalry units. I'm thinking here of like the roving clans heroes. So, the cavalry Makani Che's tree is very nearly unique. Right, we have Battlefield Vantage, which gives us gives all of our units plus attack. The first 2 levels of this are pretty bad. The 3rd level is pretty good. Agile Mover, which is just excellent, a really, really great skill. Saddle Up, which is fine, it's kind of whatever. Personal damage increase for the hero, or initiative increase for all the units. And finally, plus morale. So I've definitely talked about the importance of morale during this series. Remember that a point of morale on every unit in the army translates to plus 15% attack and plus 15% defense for each of those units. That's a very, very good buff. It doesn't always apply in situations where you had 6 morale anyway. This is providing no benefit at all. But those situations are pretty rare. They mostly occur like on the first turn of battle, and then units start to spread out, and they start losing that nearby friendly unit bonus. So basically, I think there's a lot of good reasons for us to make Makani-che a military hero rather than a governor. But it is worth noting that the Kapaku governor faction tree stuff is very, very good for us. So +1 science on volcanic terrain will be, hopefully, +1 science on every tile in our empire, right? Because we're hoping to be able to volcanoform everything that we are exploiting. Heat of the Hearth gives an awful lot of approval. Again, because we intend to only be on volcanic terrain. Blazing Ingenuity is a very strong skill. Reclamation Genius reduces the cost of retrofitting units in the army, so probably not something we'll have. Geomantic Wiles is just great. It's just extra strategic resources. And finally, Blood Boiler is unlikely to get used. It is worth noting that because Blood Boiler is on the same tier as Cold Operator, we can get there from, you can go up the lines or lateral, but you can't go down them. So like if we had Inspirational Leader, we could not from there get to Blazing Ingenuity. The fact that there's a straight across line here, though, means that if we go military and we end up with enough skill points, we could reach from High Strike through this, through Cold Operator, and into that to get it. Can't imagine that happening, but it's at least possible. Sometimes your hero ends up with an awful lot of skill points. That's probably not going to happen. But basically, where I'm going with this is that it is almost certainly the case that it's correct to make Makani-che a military hero, but we would love to find another Kapaku to serve as a governor, right? Okay, and with that, let's have a look around. So like I said, 6 movement on our hero by default. We are definitely going to search these ruins with the hero, get as much XP as possible, and also have a look around here. Okay, I like our starting region. Got some Yotus here. Okay, that's a unit with a ranged attack. So we got 5 titanium and 2 science, and also 5 titanium and 2 science. Okay. Let's split out the stone sentinels and continue looking about. So a dragon tree is an awfully good anomaly, but I'm a little bummed out about, oh well, I was about to say about how far away it is from our other anomalies, because I'm looking at this cluster of 3 and thinking, hey, that's a pretty good spot for a city. But if we put down right here, we do get the ruby cactus and the dragon tree, and we're only 1 tile away from these lava chimneys, and then we're only 1 tile away from the fumarole. We're also 1 tile away from the coast. Oh no, sorry, 2 tiles away from the coast. The dye extractor's right there. This is looking like a pretty strong tile to me, although not a lot of food in this location. You can see our food situation's a little dire everywhere, though. Can I not? Oh, nope, that is completely cliffed off. Okay, let's explore this way a little bit. Ooh, look at that. Steel stalks next to a hidden spring. So keep in mind, we can't see the food on these tiles, but it is still here. And if we come down here and we volcano form it, we'll be in pretty good shape. Like, this is a very strong second settle. We did get a second volcanic region nearby, too, so we won't have to volcano form all this to get full benefit from it. I'm, like, pretty happy with our starting position here. This is not bad at all. Alright, so let's actually put the city down. Oh, hold on. Before we do that. Inner Fire. In addition to giving us bonus damage on volcanic tiles, it makes all of our units immune to damage from lava flows. This is on all of our Kapaku units. It will not be on all the units we get throughout the game. So like if we absorb minor faction units into our army, we'll have to route those units or those armies around lava. But we can just walk across, so we'll be able to scout this stuff very easily. Alright, let's have a look. So there's a lot of anomalies over here, but it's worth noting that none of these anomalies have approval on them, while the dragon tree totally does. So this is 5, 17, 13, 6 with 10 approval. That's a very strong start. Getting to start next to a ruin with its extra points is also good. And yet the build out here is so strong. Over here, we're looking at like 4, 15, 16, 6. Yeah, it's very hard for me to imagine that it's wrong to settle right here. This does not give us great access to the water, but this might not be a real ocean anyway, right? We're pretty close to the top of the world. And actually, yeah, that looks coastal to me. It looks like that's land. So we might not have to... We might not get any benefit from settling right on the coast anyway. I think this is definitely the right spot. So we got ourselves a city. Obviously, we want to get our Founders Memorial up as quickly as possible. Our food from tiles is quite low, so we're probably going to want to spend a lot of time on food here. Yeah, we could take one turn off the Founders Memorial by doubling the time until the second citizen is born. That's definitely the wrong move. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. Let's have a look at our legendary deeds for the day. Be the first to destroy 10 armies in order to get technical training, so that's not happening. Have at least 30 units of one luxury resource in order to get 130 wine. That totally could happen. That's going to be pretty much down to luck, though. So we are 10 to 30 turns out from our first winter. We are researching pretty quickly here. I think I'm going to pick up Language Square first. And I'm debating whether we want Mill Foundry before Cultivation. I guess we'll make that decision in 2 turns. We might want to, because the winter's going to be kind of slow, we might want to throw down Cultivation right away. And we have enough industry that we might be able to get through without having to worry about Mill Foundry. I mean, Mill Foundry doesn't come in any later than 3rd, that's for sure. From the Journal of Custodian Actil. Ash buries all in time. But still we mark the pages and pass down the stories before the all-consuming fire comes. Auriga frightens. Vast, sparkling blue oceans, crisp green plains, snowy wildernesses, a sickening panorama, not unlike the hellscape the machines made of our world. 12 and 5 fire births we have witnessed, cowering and huddling in the shadow of the Endless's great vessel that carried us to this world. Why they saved us I know not. Time untold we slumbered in their cold crypts, held in dreamless sleeps by strange machines far beyond our understanding. Too long, I fear. If Overseer Elohis knows more of this world, it doesn't say. For all it's done for the Kapaku, the thing unsettles me. Ancient living brain entombed in a walking coffin, at once magnificent and macabre. I often spy it in kindled conference with Custodian Tua, but she never shares of what they speak. More qualms. Her name would be last on my lips as one to succumb to fanaticism. Her mind a grindstone, pragmatic and tenacious. But I confess, the burning reverence for the Endless that has sparked among my kin disturbs me. Yes, they saved us, but as we Kapaku say, only the flame gives its warmth freely. For now I must put these doubts aside. The time has come to strike out from our Savior's cradle. We will tame Auriga. One day basalt plains will stretch as far as the eye can see. Great volcanoes will loom from the cracked earth, and the sickening blue of its seas will have turned to the chromed yellow and green I still remember. It is our right. The Endless have promised us, and given us the tools to make it so. The Magma Council are agreed. Our long journey beneath the stars is over. Now it is time to begin transforming Auriga into a fiery paradise. First, though, we will need materials to power the Endless's terraformation machines. Strategic resources, it turns out, so make sure you have 5 of any while ending the turn. Okay, problem solved. That's a little bit lucky. So the gods that they spoke of, the gods that descended upon them and ruined their old world, I think are one faction of the Endless from the Great Endless Civil War, and the ones who saved them are the other faction. And then while they were in space, traveling the great interstellar distances, the war concluded, and now the Endless are no more, but they sort of don't know that. And Overseer Elohis might actually be an Endless. So we can see another player has forward settled on us pretty aggressively here, which bodes ill. Let's hope that they're not feeling terribly aggressive. So we're going to want to be pretty aggressive ourselves with the settling. We also definitely want to make sure we end the turn near this village. So we want to talk to them the moment we can talk to people. Alright, we're doing pretty well on money early. That's probably going to mean just buying out the Founders Memorial, which I am a big fan of doing. I think that's almost always a good move. Okay, a second dye deposit. So we're going to have a ton of dye income. Yeah, there is a dye deposit there. Just making sure I wasn't imagining things. Unfortunately, no strategics that we can currently see in our home region. That doesn't mean there aren't any. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it is the case that volcanic regions are almost always dotted with multiple strategic resources, but probably the ones that we have here are like adamantine and palladian. That's fine. We'll keep looking around. Let's go ahead and purchase ourselves a Founders Memorial nice and early. And I guess get started on the Geomic Lab right away. We do have 5 tiles that have science on them. It's pretty good. And I think I am going to go cultivation into Mill Foundry. I don't usually do it that way, and if the winter timer was a little tighter, I probably wouldn't in this situation either. But I'm going to gamble and hope to get lucky, because I kind of think we need to get a little bit lucky given our food situation. Alright, we did it. We must make this world more hospitable for the Kapaku. Volcano form 10 tiles. So we can spend strategic resources to create a volcano former. Armies can then use the army action to place the volcano former on the ground, and it will transform the tile that it's sitting on and the 6 surrounding it into volcanic tiles, which won't natively change their yields, I don't think, or maybe it does. Okay, it changes the base yield type. So if we look at these tiles, like you can see, this is getting +1 food and +1 industry from being cold forest. And then another 1 industry from being forested. This is getting 1 science and 1 dust from being dirt field. So I think when we change this, I guess they maintain their like ash drifts type. Okay, we'll see exactly what it does. We don't have to guess at this. We can just try it out and find out. So I'm inclined to put down our first volcano former over here, right? But let's get over there by walking this way, get a little bit more vision of the world. Region has even more dye. On ourselves 5 glass steel. So each time we build a volcano former, it's going to cost some strategics, and each time we build a volcano former out of a particular resource, it increases the cost to build volcano formers out of that resource for the rest of the game. It is a permanent increase. So like the first titanium volcano former will just be 2. But then the next one will be 4 titanium, and the one after that will be... I don't remember if it goes up by 2 every time or if it doubles every time, but they get expensive quickly. So I guess let's hope that we're going to have to progress up the tech tree pretty quickly to get access to new types of resources so that we can make volcano formers out of them, basically. Alright, what do you guys want? They want me to destroy a Sisters of Mercy village in Gmail. Well, I am capable of that. That's a thing we can do. Let's go find the village. And probably our hero is capable of doing this by himself, because Sisters of Mercy are bad fighters. We are going to have to find the village, though. It seems to be somewhat well hidden. Alright, what about you guys? Give them 8 dye. You know, that's a thing that absolutely can happen. Don't have 8 dye right now, but we will definitely have 8 dye. Okay, here we go. Found some more ruins. So, we don't have any idea who Purple is, unfortunately. Probably not in a huge hurry to meet them. So we have to volcano form 10 tiles. Each volcano former is going to turn 7 tiles. What do I think we're going to get first? And we're definitely going to take over this region. I want to take this region as well. So I suppose we're going to have income of both resources. Doesn't really matter which one we do this with. So we'll make ourselves a volcano former. We'll have this guy put it down right there. That's not a bad city site once we've got it transformed. And then we're going to need to lay down 1 more volcano former to get up to 10 tiles. So where would we put that? I suppose, actually, I probably should have dropped it over here before coming this way. We could put the city right there. It'd be a little awkward to grow it, though, with the ruin and the rock wall. I'm wondering if maybe it's better to settle over here and drop our golem camp on this site? Maybe. And I mean, I'm definitely inclined to put down a volcano farmer this turn, just to get our faction quest rolling. Ah, found him. I mean, it's definitely not going to be our hero who puts it down, right? And like I said, I think we can just win this fight. Sisters of Mercy are very, very bad fighters. So, our hero has the charge capacity, as many cavalry units do. We definitely want to move the maximum possible distance before attacking. We have 6 move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's not cliff, right? No, okay. Yep, move maximum distance. Attack the one that is not standing in the forest. And we want to keep moving as much as we can every round. Wow, they actually hit me for the full... Wow. Okay, that's not... Here, let's move a little bit less than full distance so that I can get in the pile here. Wow, I was really not expecting them to hit me for full damage so many times, considering that they have 32 attack and I have so much more defense. If we attack again, we're going to die. Okay, well, let's bail. They don't have the movement necessary to get over here, right? Yeah, they only have 2 move. Alright, so we're gonna have to bring up a little bit of support for our hero. I really want to search these though. Okay, well, if we want to lay down another volcano former this turn, you know, maybe I'm just waiting until next turn to lay down the other volcano former. It would be better to set it over here. I should have done this. I got a little bit of tunnel vision. I should have done this before walking over. So we will not be putting down the second volcano former this turn. Yeah, alright. Let's just get this guy up here as quickly as possible. I'm not going to search these ruins down here. We'll let the hero do it. So next turn I can make it to there. Okay, that is in reinforcement range. So we'll just handle this then. Probably don't want to move you because I don't want to turn the battlefield or anything. Yeah, we really want it to be in the orientation that it is currently in. A little embarrassing. You're gonna lose a fight to 2 Sisters of Mercy. It's just awful. Okay, so let's make our second volcano former out of the other resource, I guess. Put this down right here, which is a pretty good settling location as well. Actually, maybe a better one. Yeah, it might be city goes here, golem camp goes there. Because this has way more expansion capability. We have some good anomalies nearby. Yeah, that's almost certainly what we'll do. Okay, so in 5 turns, our faction quest will move forward a little bit. We can finish the battle here. Just keep our hero sort of way out of the way. So Stone Sentinels do not do very much damage, but they're extremely tough. Okay. I hope you feel shame, hero. So, return to the tribe's village and restore their trust. Absolutely very, very important. We'll have the hero grab this. I'm just trying to get as much XP on this hero as we can, as quickly as we can. Alright, so next turn we grab that, and then convert the village. That'll give us another point of population in the capital, and do we want to build a settler real quick? I mean, yes, I do. The question is, do we want to build a settler real quick and then, like, push off the seed storage, or do we want to go seed storage, do some other stuff, and then build the settler? I think the answer is I want the settler really badly. Oof. It's still very slow. Well, I want to stake out Belon partially because I'm worried about purple. If purple's not like the cult or the Mykara, they might try to settle us into a corner, and I would love to form a nice wall of settlements here. So we're gonna put some serious pressure on that. Oh, I guess we can move one space further south. And we'll just hop back out of this army again next turn. It is not very cheap to buy out a settler. It's not even twice as much industry, but there's a weird dust modifier on settlers that makes it way more dust inefficient to buy them than it is to buy normal buildings. So we definitely want to let the settler actually build. It'll help a lot when we convert the city in a moment here. It'll be an extra person on industry. Got ourselves a quest. Okay, we have two dye deposits in our capital region, so we're definitely going to build 2 extractors. So that's just free dye for the entirety of the game. That's handy. Okay, and we're doing pretty well on money here. So you, I guess, can finish scouting out this region. We do want to know the rest of what this region looks like, because we're probably going to settle it pretty early. I'm hoping that can be our third region. Keep an eye on purple a little bit. Oh, we have another volcanic region over here, so if we settled there... maybe this is the third settle, because this one's a little bit safer from purple. If we do this, it's going to generate a lot of border friction, which is to say diplomatic tension. Which is to say we are going to get a war declared on us. But if we can cut them off enough and have that conflict turn in our favor, that could really set us up for the rest of the game. So with this path of building, it turns out not to matter too much what order we do our researches in, because we end up not building any of the stuff we would get from those researches very early. That might mean that this is just not a good path, because it means we're delaying a lot of these very powerful early buildings quite a bit. But also, it's really important to expand quickly. So to pacify these sisters, we must bring a lot of minor faction units over to meet them. That is very unlikely to occur. But you are just running for these ruins over here, and also just have a lot of scouting still to do. Did we get a quest from these heiresses? I don't think I actually spoke to them. Well... yeah, we gotta fix that. How did I manage to just not even talk to him? I mean, that's not totally crazy. That sounds like me. So... our rate of research is still pretty good. Dust income is pretty poor. But maybe we want to get the open pit mine going right away. Get our 2 extractors down and then just have tons of luxury resources to play with. I mean, we could satisfy this through actual resource gathering. That's not usually something that happens. Usually if you're going to get that, it's reliant on you getting lucky and getting the same thing from a bunch of ruins. But yeah, alright, let's go for open pit mine. We have a lot of uses for luxury extractors. So do I want to turn you around, or do I want to have the hero deal with this? The hero has a lot of other stuff to do already. But obviously having the hero deal with it has the benefit of getting all that extra XP. Yeah, alright, let's have the hero do it. We'll get all these ruins. We're working on it. Alright, what do you want? Make sure there's no enemy army in this region. Okay, I think that's actually pretty likely to happen. So you can just keep looking around. Colonize this region to make these guys happy. Okay. Okay, that could happen. That might occur. So we do not have an eclipse counter now, which means that there's not going to be an eclipse before the first winter. Which means that we probably don't... We're not in any rush to pick up Mercenary Market. We're just not going to have the money to utilize it, probably. We could get a little bit lucky from these ruins. I mean, okay, we have found a fair amount of dust this turn. I don't really want to meet purple, but I would love it if I could get some idea who they are. Oh, they're the Forgotten. Okay, that's pretty bad for us in a whole bunch of ways. The Forgotten are aggressive, and also they use spies a lot, and they will make our lives a living hell. The good news is that their units are not super great fighters early in the game. We did not see this unit here because of stealth. So Forgotten units all have the stealth capacity, which means they're invisible unless you're adjacent to them. Although some things can see through stealth, like watchtowers. So we need to probably stay close to this guy. He's going to try to walk around us, and we got to stay close to him and attack him as soon as he is outside of their territory. He is going to have to die, and it's going to have to happen pretty quickly. And yes, that's going to make the Forgotten hate us, but they were going to hate us either way. That's just kind of who they are. Wow, that ruin is further away than the ruin you get for this quest usually is. Within 5 turns, search that for the Break Wall shield, which is a pretty good shield. I mean, our hero's headed in that direction. We can do that. So let's keep an eye on this guy. Nope, back off. Those are military units. We are going to lose that fight. A single stone sentinel does not beat 2 of anything, really. Now we could probably beat 2 preachers with it. Yeah, another 80 dust from our quest. Maybe we do actually, at this moment, want to go for Mercenary Market. And another 15 glass steel. Progress! Our kin in the House of Geomancers work miracles with the Endless's terraforming machines. Auriga will be our true home one day. Only one thing vexes me. A strange contraption discovered in the rubble. Clearly unnatural. The night terrors assail me every eve. Half truth, half fantasy. They are born from my memories of the last days on our old world. Wave upon wave of killer machines, moving ever closer to our last remaining settlements, crashing against our golem defenders whose numbers dwindle every day. You know, I wonder if these were cravers. They totally could be, right? Beyond them, I see that our beautiful world is already gone. Sturdy grasses covering what was once lava plains. Volcanoes smoldering into dormancy. The air disgustingly clear. And then our endless saviors arrive, smashing the machine menace. But when Overseer Elohis reaches me, he offers not a hand, but a fist. I always wake at that moment, stone cold. Auriga is not only settled with crude other skins. Our scouts have unearthed more ancient mechanisms. Intricate, complex devices that couldn't have been fashioned by any of the races we've come across. Even our best tinkers are bewildered by the intricacy of the craftsmanship. There can be only one conclusion. A great civilization once occupied this world. I watched Custodian Tua carefully as the truth was announced at the Magma Council meeting. She knows more than she lets on. Overseer Elohis claims ignorance, and plays down the implications. The galaxy is ancient, it says. Who knows what races spread across the stars in past eras? Today they are gone, and only primitive tribes remain. Auriga is still yours to make in your own image. You have our blessing. A solemnity has fallen over the Kapaku. There are stirrings of a schism. Some whisper that we must learn more of these other skins before we act further, while others murmur that we must strike while we still have the advantage of surprise. There is but one thing agreed by all. We must be prepared. Now is not the time for ideological disputes. Our survival is at stake. Other skins stalk this world, growing bolder with every passing day. Our aura of mystery, perhaps even invincibility, dwindles as their memories of the descending star vessel fade. We must assert our authority over the more pliable ones. So we need to assimilate a minor faction to gain the Shaman's Insight tech, which makes our Stone Sentinels have no dust upkeep cost, which is pretty great, actually. So the minor faction that we're pacifying here is Eresis, plus movement. That's a pretty good one. And here we have Yotus, who give plus vision. So the Yotus unit does have a ranged attack, but it's a pretty short ranged attack. We don't actually know how many villages are in the in Belan either. It could be 3, which would mean that this assimilation trait is 1.5 points of movement, which is effectively 2 points of movement, at least at this point in the game. That's a pretty good trait. We don't really need the Eresis unit very much. It's basically just our Golem Writer. But I suppose if we have the Eresis unit, we don't have to research the Golem Writer. Yeah, I think I would rather have the Eresis. The extra movement's really useful. Alright, so we'll wait until they're properly pacified, which will just be a couple more turns, right? Yep, 3 turns. These haunts would like us to give them 50 dust. I'll think about it. So after this, we probably want to get Public Library. Our rate of research is going to slow down a little bit. So do we want to give them the 50 dust? Let's see about acquiring for ourselves some more ruin searches. Here, this will give me a little bit more of an idea of how much dust I have to play with. Alright, so let's get our settler out and run down to here. If we equip the settler now with an improved movement trinket, it will actually reduce the number of turns we need to move by 1. Right, we'll get that city out 1 turn sooner because we'll actually reach here next turn. I think I am willing to pay 28 dust for that. So we don't know where that purple settler is going to end up. I would really like to keep them out of Melantur. We see volcanic terrain over here, too. This is another volcanic region. Well, I'll tell you what. The early Belan is definitely right. We need a mill foundry. We need dye extractors. I think I am going to delay the 3rd settle just a little bit. I'm going to finish the seed storage, and we're going to be hopeful here. It could be 20 turns before winter starts. We'll get these cities established a little bit, and then we'll try to spit out the next settler during the winter, when the food output of the city is going to be worse anyway. Somebody just hit Era 2. It's turn 11. Some kind of idea what pace we're dealing with here. Trying to keep an eye, see if we could bump into their settler by accident. So, is there... I think we probably do want to use this blood crystal before we settle the city. Because when we settle, we're going to drop down to 60 approval, I believe, and that'll make the Empire approval level just content instead of happy, which means we'll lose all these lovely bonuses. But we can pop this right now and maintain them for at least 10 turns after we put down. You know what? Actually, we had plus 10 approval from the city location we picked, so maybe that wasn't necessary. How quickly can we get this built? Am I willing to bet on getting good, a decent amount of time with this running before winter? I'm going to choose to be hopeful here. I mean, keep in mind, even if winter hits, we lose the flat plus 10 food. We still do get the plus 15% food, though. And we're not going to buy it out because we're hoping to be able to hire at least 1 governor. Okay, another 30 dust. I think I'm not going to give these guys the dust right now. Wait until after Mercenary Market's finished and see how our finances look then. Oh, we can see another player through the fog. I'm moving in the general direction of the breakwall ruin here. Okay, so we're not terribly settled in. If blue moves forward and takes this region, though, we're gonna have to think very seriously about settling one of these two to keep them from crushing us. I do not want to get starved out, especially not with what I think is a pretty reasonable start here. Definitely not the best start we've ever seen. It's no equal to the start we had from last game, but it's not bad. If we had more money, I would just rush the end of this seed storage. So now that we have the seed storage built in the capital, that was like the most important thing to get done. I'm wondering if we move these people back onto food. We're gonna get a birth next turn anyway. Let's stay the course for right now, for this turn. We'll see what things look like in a moment. Okay, activate 2 boosters to get the Skull of the Caves. That might happen. That might be a thing we can do. Do I want to scout? Which direction do I want to scout in, basically? I don't want to try to pacify the minor faction in our enemy's territory. Yeah, I guess let's look this way. We might bump into that settler. Oh. I think that's fungus we see there. It might still be growing. It might not be finished. But yes, blue is Mykara. Okay. Upside and downside. We may be able to make friends with them. That means they're not going to push in on us. So we have expansion space over here. Hopefully we won't need to search ruins quite as aggressively as we did last time we were neighbor to the Mykara. It's probably a good idea to have some friends, right? It would be cool if we could have some friends. I don't want to have to kill everyone we come across. Although, honestly, that might be our victory condition. But it looks like this is... we can interact with it while it's overgrowing, or... I don't remember how this works. Obviously, it's a problem once it's overgrown. Yeah, we have to dispose of the fungal bloom. Okay, I'm going to get on the other side of it, away from the Mykara. And then we're just going to unbloom what they are blooming and get our break wall and get the hell out of here, probably. That could be ocean out there. That could be proper ocean. So it's possible that we're on islands. Like, this might be a large island that has, like, 3 of the players in the game, and then somewhere else there's another... I guess at that size, you would call them a continent. Alright, we got our pacification, which means we can flip these guys. It was just 2 villages. Still that's pretty good. Yeah, as much as the Yotu's unit is a little bit better for us. Oh, they do have True Sight, though. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, the Tentacle having True Sight means that we will actually be able to see where the Forgotten Armies are. That's a pretty big advantage. Okay, fine. What turn is it? It's turn 13. In order to pick up this buff, we have to have 40 influence available to us. We're going to gain another 21, which means that we will be at 35 if we don't put anybody on influence, if we do the assimilate right now, which we are totally going to do because I want to move the quest forward. We're not going to get Relic of the Past because of the stupid Mykara. I hate having Mykara nearby. It's always the worst. Okay, well, let's have a look at the hero market. It is going to be reasonable for us to give 50 dust to that that minor faction village. They'll give us the 10 influence we need to get our proper empire plan off. Here's a question. Do we want one of these 3? We have slavery on a necrophage, science boost 3 on a vaulter, dust boost 3 on a broken lord, and industry efficiency 2 on Ipsawacha. Ipsawacha's a pretty good one, but I'm wondering if we might want to hold off here. Let the list refresh on turn 16 and see if we can't get ourselves a Kapaku, because it would be really nice to have all those lava buffs. Then again, Ipsawacha is very powerful in the early game. Like, Wildwalker heroes are really strong governors. So he's going to give us plus production, minus building cost, plus production. Yeah, he is awfully good. He might be better than a Kapaku governor, honestly. And they'll never be cheaper than they are right now. Yeah. Okay. So, we moved you guys over to food. Yeah, that's pretty good. You guys over here are all on industry because we're trying to get the basics done. I'm going to put Ipsawacha here. This is where people are on industry. This is where he'll be most effective. Okay, so our faction quest will move forward next turn. We're not anywhere near being able to afford a second hero, so I'm just going to go ahead and give these guys the 50 dust. And this sucks. I'm still going to destroy the bloom because we may as well just like normally search the ruin now, but I'm so frustrated by the fungal bloom nonsense. Well, we got 40 dust. We got our shaman's insight. The fractures in our society still run deep. Whether we will share this land or conquer it, we know not. But at least we have allies to strengthen our cause. Most pleasing of all, our new allies show us how to create even more powerful stone sentinels. Yeah, is that a thing the Yotus knew a lot about? No break wall for me, which means the worst part of that is that we don't get the XP for searching the ruin the second time. Just making our hero weaker. Alright, let's, do we want to stamp our hero over here before doing this? There's a pretty good chance that they're going to want me to do that anyway, and we could get the 4 XP on the hero. Now, but if they don't want us to bring our hero to another village as the second part of this quest, we probably want him to stay over there and keep searching in that area. Okay, no, they do. And I mean, we may as well pacify them, right? We've paid 50 dust for the influence that we need to establish our empire plan. We're going to want to get our second settler... Like, we want to get our third city down as close to turn 20 as possible. We're spending some time now just getting a lot of food, getting some growth going in our city. And I think we bring him down here, and we either take Melantar if it's still available to us, or we take this region instead, maybe? What do they want? They want us to colonize, and they'll give us, man, they'll give us 15 titanium when we put down. That's pretty good. We are united in our survival, but the fault lines in our society grow. After leading a geological expedition, Overseer Elohis returned, only to be ambushed by an angry crowd. They jostled the Endless, accusing it of deceiving the Kapaku, and demanding it admit the truth of why its people sent us to Auriga. I know not what truth they imagined, but their accusations found sympathy among many passers-by. Open riot seemed imminent until cooler heads prevailed. Privately, my mind too worries over these ideas. Are we being turned into tools here to destroy an ancient enemy of the Endless? Are we part of a cruel entertainment or experiment? Or are we, as Elohis maintains, simply unlucky to find Auriga inhabited? Custodian Tua stands fast by the latter. Even more than the High Priest of the Temple of the Saviors, she is the one who has become the figurehead of the Endless's defenders. The Endless saved us from the machines, she rails. Do we so easily forget? Overseer Elohis has forsaken its people, its home, its very physical form, so that we may benefit from its wisdom and survive this harsh world. Remember, we Kapaku are certainly fallible. She still burns from the Magma Council's refusal to address the machine incursion early enough. To our great shame, to my great shame, most of us thought them innocent visitors. And who paid the greatest price for that willful ignorance? The Haku clan. Tua's clan. So we find ourselves split at either side of a fissure that runs deeper every day. The doubters and the defenders. I don't know who to believe. All I know is that there is no going back from Auriga. In spite of its harsh wildernesses, hostile races, and strange climes, it is now our home. With our forces strong, the time has come to thoroughly survey this land. We will have answers. Is Overseer Elohis here for us or the Endless? Auriga's ruins may hold the truth. Uh-oh. Okay, let's pin that. So we have to search this ruin and this ruin. And right now, neither of them are Mykara'd up. So this is a little inconvenient. Maybe I don't want to bother... Yeah, maybe we don't bother pacifying these guys right now. Because I think what we really want our hero to do is run this way. Make sure you defeat anyone trying to stand in your way. So presumably there will be combat. I guess I'm just going to have you guys run that way. Are we just going to run right across Mykara land? Probably. Yeah, I want to get this done as quickly as possible, right? We're making good progress on our faction quest, and we should not stop if we don't have to. Wow. The Kapaku have a lot, or the Mykara rather, have an awful lot of units already. That's a little worrying. Make sure we have a good path entered in here, because we're going to want to run very quickly at the beginning of the next turn. It's nice to have all that movement, though, all that cavalry movement. So I think we're good for the turn. Are you... Okay, you're going to have a birth next turn. We're holding out pretty well here. So we do want to get those dye extractors done. It turns out it's going to take forever. Oh, I mean, we don't have the mill foundry up yet, though. We'll stay like this in the capital for a moment, and then we'll see if it makes sense to flip over to industry next turn, but I want to get this next point of population up. Yeah, this is a tricky situation. If the Mykara don't end up inconveniencing us too much, they could be a valuable ally. And purple is almost guaranteed to go to war with us no matter what. Ooh, 70 dust. That was a good find. Definitely get +1 move. Unfortunately, the hero already spent all of... Is our hero male or female? Was Makani more than any other... He. Okay. So he spent all his movement already, which is unfortunate, because he doesn't get any benefit from that level up this turn. But we're in a good position to make some pretty fast progress now. It looks like there's an awful lot of water between these two, so we may need this Stone Sentinel to search that one. Alright, and over here we're at 4 turns to the next birth, and 4 turns until our stuff is done, or 2 and 8. And I mean, we do need to get our public library built as soon as possible, because our rate of research is definitely slowing. I think I'm inclined to... to go heavy on the industry here to try to get through these 3 buildings. Over here, does the Geomic Lab make sense here? It's not great. Maybe we want to get our extractor down. Yeah. Okay. You know, if we get lucky on another ruin or 2, we might actually be able to afford a second governor. Maybe we get lucky and get an actual Kapaku governor. Well, let's hope we get lucky then. It is nice to have a lot of volcanic regions nearby, because it means we're less likely to need volcano forming for our next, for the second settler. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll be functional as an ally. Maybe we'll just eat their city. Which will probably be a pretty powerful grown-up city by the time we get to it, right? They are going to be numerous, but the Ipotane we know is not a very good military unit. So it might not be so bad if they get all desirous of war. We might be able to get through that. So sewer system versus... I think we should pick up Empire Mint next. We do probably want sewer system eventually, but we might be able to skip it for right now and go Central Market instead, and come back for it later. And we're definitely going to need more dust. Alright, please tell me this is not bloomed. Okay, it is actually not bloomed. Alright, so we got augmented extractors done. We did not colonize Melantur. That's a little unfortunate. And I assume we have to kill this thing that spawned here. But it's not coming after us, which is unusual. Oh wait, hold on. Stop here. No, don't stop here. Boy, I clicked an awful lot there. I really feel like you should have stopped. Because we haven't actually talked to that minor faction yet. And emeralds. That was very close to the same as finding nothing in that ruin. Okay, so this guy can just come back home now. We desperately need libraries. Okay. So I think that... Oh, Makaniche is still wounded, actually. We heal very slowly. I'm way too used to that very impressive rate of health regen that we were seeing last game. Alright, I think we probably do Public Library into Settler. It's going to have that Settler done on turn 22. Maybe it's better to do the Settler first, actually. We settle Ligu. And Purple doesn't actually have a region over here to settle into, which it looks like might be possible. Then we may find that we're able to just starve them a little bit and then go after them. Which is definitely where I would like to end up here. So I'm going to have our hero just run away. Try to avoid this guy. That's not actually a very good runaway. 1, 2, 3. You know what? I'm not going to be able to run away from him and also search the ruin. Well, I'll try to be fast. We might be able to search this ruin and then move again afterward. Search. I actually didn't search. That's really annoying. Sometimes you click and the order you gave just doesn't happen, which is always extremely frustrating. Okay. Did we... That quest failed instantly. The moment we got that quest, Purple destroyed the village. That's a pretty dumb thing that shouldn't be able to happen either. Okay. Whoever assimilates the Dorgeshi gets a small amount of stuff. So, our hero must fight this demon. I am not fighting it while it's in the forest. Okay. Get a nice full charge off here. There we go. That's the kind of damage we need to see. Alright, well all we have to do is make it over to this ruin. I'm guessing that there's a path from here to there. How else would this, like, I think this is maybe like a little land bridge. I don't know how else it could possibly be connected. Can I get a new quest? No, I cannot get a new quest. We could. We cannot, in fact, just attack the village with Belon's help. That's a shame. I was hoping to get a little bit of free XP for Ipsawacha. So we have enough influence for... Oh, there is not, in fact, a way from one of these places to the other. And also, we keep finding empty ruins. Hold on, is this on this landmass? It's not. They gave us an early game quest that requires us to get access to ships. Well, you know what? Maybe it connects through here. You try that. Yeah, maybe this loops around. These are ocean tiles, though. Ah, that doesn't matter. Okay, so we've gotten pretty lucky with the winter. We've been allowed to generate an awful lot of food off of those seed storages. So, is it time to start building military units then? Or do we maybe want to push these cities onto food? I mean, maybe push the cities onto food and build military units. And this is still 6 science. It's not great, but it's not horrible. We get some pretty good build-out from this city eventually, but the first district doesn't really take us anywhere good. We could try to get a museum down. And it would be here that I would want to do that, because of the bonus population and Ipsawacha. 7 turns isn't that long. It would be better to build it, obviously, in the capital, but the capital is both less good at building things and also very busy. Partially because it's less good at building things. The other option is we could put up the dye extractor and next turn start work on an empire mint. Thing is, I think this city is actually going to be pretty big once it gets going. And next turn we're going to get into Era 2. We're going to start researching golem camps, and then we're going to want to build golem camps right away. But honestly, 7 turns, we'll totally get there. And this will give us the ability to build out like this without incurring an approval penalty. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. So we do need to get some more strategic extraction going. After we build this settler, we might go nuts and just settle like a whole bunch. Although maybe it's better to just go military and just take over purple. Especially because of the fact that blue is our other nearest neighbor. If we take purple out, all of this is ours. Yeah, we probably want to do a little bit of military building. Or a lot, actually. Okay, so we're just going to go for science. Oh, hey, thanks guys for getting directly in my way. Very helpful. I am being attacked by Ended, which is, yes, definitely a retreat situation. Unfortunately, they're faster than I am. But they might not chase us, because minor faction units sometimes just, like, wander around arbitrarily. But we may lose that unit. It's possible. So we're definitely going after golem camps right now. We need titanium. So Gimmail has extractors, Gildren has extractors. And Gildren does have a golden tree. We could use some glass steel to volcano form here. We don't actually see all of the tiles. It's possible that this region does have an extractor. I'm going to have him go scout that out, I guess, since he's obviously not needed to try to find this ruin. God, I hope we can get there this way. After we finish this public library, we're probably going into troop building mode, right? What? Really? They spawned an army that turn directly in front of me. So wait, what? I thought that the minor faction army that we saw sailing over here was the minor faction from this region. Because why would they be over here if they weren't? They almost never do that. I guess maybe it was... No, that should have been... It's very strange. Alright, well, I guess let's have a quick look at the rest of this region. I do like Silix. That's a potentially a very interesting assimilation. Oh yeah, purple has all of the titanium. Well then, I think it is in fact the case that we are we're gonna settle Liligoot and we're just gonna push them really hard. So, military designs. We don't really have a lot of good military tech right now, but we'll grab alchemical alloys for the weapons. Probably. Would we be better off taking armor here since we're a little stretched for resources? Actually, this might be a situation where alchemical armor is a better play. Because we can get the bonus stats from the army stat gain trinkets on our hero, and then just use iron weapons and armor. It's not going to be an easy war, that's for sure. Yeah, alright, I think that's the plan for right now. Do we want to throw the next level of movement trinket on this settler? Gains an extra point of movement. I mean, I don't even actually know where I'm settling over here. It's probably like between the fumaroles. Or there's something to be said for those steel stalks. Oh, this is actually very interesting. Steel stalk Earth Tower is a lot of... Wow. That's a lot of movement. Okay, the extra point of movement will definitely matter. That takes a turn off of that settle. You probably don't want to actually move that path, though. Nope. I had to press that button for the sake of other people, but you need to not... No, I'm not gonna... Alright. Yeah, the whole reason I was trying to mash this button was so that these guys would keep moving, but I apparently had not given them orders, and I guess they're just dead. Great, cool. That probably doesn't matter very much, but it sucks. It sucks to just lose. Really, the purple has defeated 10 armies already, despite the fact that they've never been outside of these two regions, as far as we can tell. Where did they find 10 armies to fight? Maybe they're making ships and they're fighting Fomorians. Yeah, that's entirely possible. Okay, and this is looking... It is looking like we can probably... Yeah, we can definitely get to the ruin this way. Alright, bring 12 glass steel to these hernas. No, thank you. This is inconvenient. The minor factions are really doing everything they can to stymie what I think is a pretty reasonable start here. Do we need to build the Empire Mint before we go into military production? Probably, huh? We're hemorrhaging right now, and it's going to get worse when winter hits. Okay, I need very badly not to get stuck over here. It looks like it's going to happen no matter what, actually. The way this area is constructed, there's no way over there that doesn't run past this guy. Well, We could fight them. I do have a spear. They also have Cavalry Slayer weapons, though. No, I cannot fight them. We probably would lose the fight, and I need to be alive to get to the place I'm going. So unfortunately, we're going to have to run around them, and you can see this is a thing the game does that I find incredibly annoying. If you try to move away from something if you try to move to a place while you're near an enemy, the game refuses to allow you to draw the long path. It intentionally draws the path through the enemy so that you can't fast move at the beginning of the turn. So we're going to have to like spam right clicks in a really frustrating way at the beginning of the turn, and maybe we'll get attacked before we can do that, because sometimes people are allowed to attack you, which freezes you in place before you can actually execute move orders. Okay, well, there's a ruin over here. That's something. Well, I hope there's nothing important in our faction quest, because it looks like we're going to stall out on it pretty badly here. So we can give this order. And then as soon as he starts moving, yeah, do this. Okay, and they probably won't follow us out here. And we're being pillaged by apparently nobody, which is to say purple. Well, that's an annoying thing for them to do. Okay, so there are no strategic resources over here. For 5 turns, ensure that you have a unit of at least 4 of the 5 existing unit classes in your Empire garrisons. Out of curiosity, okay, we are just about to hit the 30 wine in our pantry necessary to win this thing. And once we have the 130 wine, we can keep our empire pretty happy for a pretty long time, which I'm very much looking forward to. And then once we've done that, we can pop a die booster to actually get the die booster value. We're not going to be able to stop them from burning that down, though. So yeah, this is part of the problem with having the Forgotten as a neighbor. They're very pillage heavy. They are very spy heavy. They probably have spies in our cities already, at least one of our cities. We're not seeing any ill effect from that because at first it is almost entirely correct for them to just steal technology from us, which is purely positive for them and not negative for us. But they will start doing worse things to us. So basically, I'm like really worried. I think things are not things are not going super well here. We're gonna lose that extractor. We did get our 130 wine. We will pop some wine immediately, and also some dye. That'll get us the Skull of the Caves, which I was not really thinking about, but I'm happy to have. It's a very good helmet. Okay, you move up to here. So, when we search this ruin, some kind of enemy thing is going to come out, and we're not going to be able to fight it. So I'm wondering if I maybe just hang out here for a little bit before searching. Do a little bit of a regen. Okay, make sure there's no enemy army in Kalal in 5 turns and we get Moonleaf. That's probably going to happen, right? Kalal is pretty remote. They're probably just going to give us 20 Moonleaf. That's great. Alright, we are in a little bit of a dangerous position here. My plan is currently to put down the city right here. And then start pumping out stuff, just like any kind of stuff we can, to put military pressure on purple. And we're going to start with some kind of not great units. So we have access to axes. It is worth noting that the Forgotten Army, their default unit is a melee infantry guy. So Infantry Slayer will be valuable against those. But they do get access to a pretty good ranged unit in Era 2, and they're definitely already in Era 2. So it's possible that going for axes is better. Let's start with the swords until we know what their army compositions look like. And if you're wondering why I didn't switch from Golem Camp to Alchemical Armor right away when I realized we probably weren't going to be able to build the Golem Camps right away, it's partially because Alchemical Armor isn't going to be valuable to us immediately either. We don't have the resource income to start building troops with giant glass steel swords all the time just yet, so I want to get basically a core of weaker, totally strategicless sentinels, which we are totally going to need. Alright, so we're definitely putting that down. We're currently fervent. I think we won't stay fervent. I think this is going to pull us back down to happy. But we want to get the city growing quickly. Yeah, we are in a precarious position. I guess it is worth noting that Belen is going to be maximum fervency now, so it will be dragging the Empire's average happiness up. Okay, this is definitely going to be like a... Oh, we have literally no food here. Alright, let's stick on food. Definitely going to be a get stuff building quickly type city. So Ipsawacha got his level up. This first level up, unfortunately, doesn't do anything, but the second one will do something, maybe. I don't actually even know if we have any forests, but he gets pretty good after that. We actually have some income now, and I don't expect this number to go down when we build military units, which is nice. Okay, so let's build ourselves some sentinels. We got to get military units just pouring out of these cities. We have to overwhelm Melanter with... Boy. Overwhelming a high-level AI with numbers. This is not my best plan ever. Well, even if we're not going to go to war with him, we still need to produce the military units because we have to be able to defend ourselves from him. So stuff like this can stop happening. Okay, so the Empire maintains fervency thanks to the luxury boosters we've been able to pop. We are, even with that one extractor down, we're doing pretty well on dye extraction rate. We got the dye extractor over here done, we'd be above replacement. Right now we're just at replacement rate for our resource until this recovers in 8 turns, which is totally fine. Yeah, he's definitely not going to pillage the other extractor. It's too far away. Alright, we will hold out. So then the question is just, we need this titanium pretty badly. Question is, do we do this and probably lose our hero and have to rebuy him? So I could really use... if we could start building this golem camp right now, put it down in that very good place that we prepped, gain a lot of extra resources. The capital could build a golem camp, over here. It's a lot of extra resources. It really, really is. But our hero dies. Almost certainly. And the thing is, we actually probably wouldn't get the titanium until we killed the thing that we spawned anyway. So yeah, we probably do just want to wait on that until we can actually handle it. Can I get... Yeah, okay, let's have this guy try to run over there and get close enough to participate in the battle. It's going to take forever. What does it cost to put a movement trinket on these guys? 118, more than I have. I'm kind of thinking we don't actually need the movement trinket because we're talking about a pretty short distance in the actual war, and it really is a sharp increase in the production cost of the unit. Yeah, 240 to 192. So I don't want to be building the units with it. I was curious if it would be sensible to retrofit it onto just this one guy. It is a little bit of a shame that it's not trivial to finish this quest. I wonder if we might be better off just attacking the village To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know that I like Stone Sentinel and 2 Militia against 2 Harmonites. I'm not sure we would actually win that battle. I hate him being right there. That is so inconvenient. Well, the good news is... No, nothing. There's no good news. This is... A lot of things about this situation have really worked out against us. So he has 4 move. The lava river tiles cost 2 movement to cross. So if we just back up from the river 1 space, he won't actually be able to reach me. And I kind of wanted to end the video by pushing through this step of the faction quest, but I don't think we can. It's going to take too long because we're going to have our hero sit here for like 2 more turns regenning before it will be safe to go after that. So I guess this is where we're going to call it. I think there are some pretty good things about our start. Oh, hey, we can see another player. There are some pretty good things about our start. It's really nice that our neighbor to the west isn't going to encroach on our territory, although he is in some ways, I guess. And it's nice that we were able to sort of try to strangle Purple in the crib a little bit here, but there are definitely a lot of ways this could still work out to be a loss before the end of the next episode. I guess we'll see if one of those happens. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see who manages to put who down, and we'll see you then.